Shemai everyone, how are you all? Long time no see. I've been busy doing other things and haven't had much chance to make any videos lately, but I'm delighted to be here today because I've actually been asked to be a guest designer for Maria at Thoughtful Studio, and she sent me some lovely printable papers to work with, and the collection is actually called Tessa Wakes the World Up, which is quite a poignant sort of idea at the moment. So I've printed them off and I'm actually using my photo paper that I use. I buy canvas effect photo paper because I wanted it to be when it's on the photo paper it doesn't give such a crisp image, if that makes sense, and I like the watercolor sort of effect of it. So I've printed off two of the same. I was really drawn to these patterns, and then I've got some of the other ones from the collection. There's lots more in the collection. I've only printed off what I thought I would use on this layout. The great thing is about printable papers is that if you really love one piece of paper, you can print it out as many times as you like. You can make cards with it, you can make other like exploding boxes, you can do as many paper crafting ideas as you want with the same papers. But today I'm going to make a scrapbook page, and I'm actually going to scrapbook this photo, and this shows a walk that my husband and I did in the early spring last year, and it's in the woods above where we're building our new house, and it's such a lovely route. Now they've also got on the sheet, Maria's also done a cut apart sheet, so I've cut out all these little bits of ephemera. I used my circle punches on some of them. They are quite small, so I'll hold them up. I've got a few little tags. So I've got those, and I printed off this sheet earlier and it ran out of ink halfway through. So out of the sheet that was only half cut out, I've cut out the big flowers and the really bright flowers there. So I'm going to use those as well. They were also on the cut apart sheet, so I think I might try and do something with those. I'm planning to use some Nuvo drops, and I've got some punches by the side of me. I've got my favourite punch, which is the notebook paper punch, butterfly, a large tag punch, because I thought I could put some of these little bits of ephemera on it, and my small tag punch. So I haven't got much of a plan at the moment, apart from the fact I want to layer all these lovely designs up to create my page. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my thinking cap on and cut some of these out, and I shall see you back in a second. Okay, so I've done a little bit of snipping and cutting, and I'm sort of just laying out the papers as I think I'm going to like them. What I'm trying to do is not to get the similar papers right next to each other, because they lose their effect. So I'm trying to use these sort of more solid colours in between, and I just backed my photo onto a piece of white cardstock and then backed it onto the yellow. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to punch some of these then. So I think I'm going to punch this one using this. I love this punch. This is an EK Success punch, and it's probably one of my most used punches at the moment. There we go. And as you can see for this one here, they're not two solid pieces. I cut them in between, and you can actually print these designs in 12 by 12, but although I've got an A3 printer which will print the 12 by 12, I thought most of us are going to use A4, so I thought I'd use that instead. So I'm going to just sort of arrange them now as I like them, and I'm just going to trim that off. I don't like the fact that you've only got a little tiny piece of it there. Oh, better trim that again. Like that. So as you can see, that's all I'm doing now is just sort of playing around with placement of papers. The nice thing about these solids is they just break up the busy patterns a little bit. Otherwise, I don't think your eye would be able to cope with all the busyness of it all. I'm going to sort of lay that once it was on top of this, you can see the effect there. As I say, I've only printed out a selection of the papers which I thought I was going to use for this project. There are lots more included with the kit. So I'm sort of going for like a central design. And what I want to do then, I want to cut out some tags to include the some of the pretty ephemera on. And I think I'm going to use my offcut of white for this, just for the ephemera to show up. Like that. And although they look quite fussy to cut out, they were quite simple really. I didn't sort of do my best cutting or anything. I said that as if I've got a best cutting. I've cut this one out. This was one of the ephemera pieces, and I'm actually going to back that onto a slightly bigger tag that I've got. I'm going to stick that one onto there. Like that. Just to give it a bit more dimension. I'd like to use these somehow as well, because just to sort of break up some of the pattern like that, I'm thinking. And then what I want to do then is tuck these flower pieces in around before I'm just going to move them all around now before I stick things down. This is a nice one which says, shall we go for a walk? And at the moment it would be so lovely to be able to go for a walk whenever you want. I think with all this lockdown, because of the pandemic that's going on at the moment, it does make you appreciate the simple things in life. And this is, I just love this because it's a wake and it's about spring and an awakening. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to, off screen, fuss about with it a little bit. And then I'll come back on again when I'm just about ready to start sticking down. So here's my finished page, and as you can see, all I've used are the papers, the printable papers, and the fussy cut sheet, and I've created a few clusters with them. I pinched some butterflies out of the solid yellow paper. That's all I've got of that sheet now, and as all it is are layers of paper and paper embellishments, and then I use some Nuvo drops. I tried to use my pink glitter one, and luckily enough I didn't do that on screen, and I didn't try it straight on the page because as it was, the top blew off and it exploded everywhere. That tends to happen to me a lot using Nuvo drops. But there we go. I hope I have shown you how versatile printable papers can be. I've got lots of pieces left, and as I say, I haven't printed out the full collection, so you do get a lot of value for your money, I think, because the kits themselves are fairly cheap and you get such a lot, and because of the fact that you can just keep printing out as many sheets as you like, well, the supply is endless. So here we go, once more, there's my page. Huge thank you to Maria from Thoughtful Studio for inviting me to be guest designer, and I hope I've tempted you to go and visit her lovely shop and to see what other beautiful collections she's got there. So thank you all for joining me. Take care. Hwyl fawr.